What's up, everybody? Welcome back to The Run with me, Manny Wilson. Thank you for tuning in, whether you're listening to the podcast version or if you're listening to me live on WIDR Radio. That's 89.1 FM WIDR Kalamazoo. Thank you for tuning in, guys. I really appreciate that. So I want to talk about March Madness today, man. It's been crazy. I'm not on the air during the week or on the weekend, so I can't really always get a feel, and I can't always talk about it because I'm not on the air during the weekend. So Wednesdays are my day to catch up on everything, catch you guys up on everything, and just talk about whatever I want to talk about. So today, I'm going straight into March Madness. But before I get started, be sure to follow me on Twitter at I am Manny Wilson. All right, let's kick it into gear. So the main thing with this week, people have been on Tom Izzo. Everybody's been on Tom Izzo because he exploded on the sideline with one of his players. I don't know exactly what happened. I don't know if the player obviously messed up. And people were on Tom Izzo because it's like, well, regardless of what that player did, Tom Izzo should not have acted like that. He should not have reacted in that way in front of all those people. That's embarrassing to the kid. That's horrible coaching, things like that. And I'm just, the entire time I'm hearing this, MSU did end up winning the game, by the way. But the whole time I'm hearing this, I'm like, really? I'm just thinking to myself, like, really? Are you seriously going to sit here and be that soft and lenient on a college game where it's win or go home? I could see if it was a regular season game or if they were just cruising to the finish line, but no. It's literally no time to do any of that stuff when you're in the playoffs or when you're in the tournament, March Madness. It's called March Madness for a reason. Some people gotta understand, if you're in March Madness and you're up by 11 points, the team can get a run. The team can make a small, quick run and come back in striking distance. Actually, 11 points is already striking distance right there. You're not too far off. So a team can make a run, and now if it's 4 minutes left in the game, you find yourself in a dogfight because you decided to let up, and then now momentum has changed. The game is based upon runs. When you watch the full basketball game, the game is based upon runs. If one team has control over the game the entire time, then that's good. But once they start to slack up and the other team comes back, that's the kind of stuff that makes the game interesting because the game is based upon runs. So for people to talk about, well, Tom Izzo should not have reacted that way, it's better ways to handle it. Okay, yeah, it's better ways to handle it, but it's better ways to handle everything. I mean, the last situation, the last argument that anybody has gotten to, I'm sure was a better way to handle it. It's always alternative ways to handle things. But to say that coaching method is ineffective, that's false. That's just straight up false. Because that coaching method right there shows that the coach cares. It shows that the coach wants to win. It shows that he's looking out for that kid. And not even going on a coaching. If I'm the player and you're gonna put me on a bench, I at least rather know why I'm sitting on a bench than you just go telling me to go sit down and you're not telling me at all. Like, I want to know where I messed up. Like, coach, what did I do wrong? You know what I mean? Like what? Tell me what I did wrong on the court. So next opportunity I get, I can make sure I do it. And Tom Izzo, he definitely did that. I promise you he did that. Although he had his fist clenched and he was upset yelling at him, I guarantee that kid knew exactly why he was sitting on a bench. Or why his playtime, or why that timeout and all of that stuff happened. I guarantee that's exactly what he knew by the time he got over to the sideline because Izzo let him have it. And nothing is wrong with that. People, we're acting like we never seen a coach explode on the sideline. We seen Greg Popovich explode on the sideline. Somebody said, oh, well, Coach K, he's always calm. He's always cool, calm, and collected. Well, that's fine. That's Coach K. It's not many like Coach K, especially on the college level. And there's a lot of college coaches out there we've seen explode. Or else it wouldn't be clips on YouTube and other social media platforms with coaches exploding like this. We see NBA coaches explode. We see, well, like I said, Greg Popovich. He's a big one. He's a great coach. But yet, you're going to sit here and tell me that his coaching method is ineffective because he yells and gets upset? Nah. If I'm playing, that means that my coach wants it just as bad as I do. If I'm in the middle of a game, that means that my coach wants it just as bad as I want to win. He's on my head to make sure I get my stuff together. That way, when I get back on the floor, it's not going to happen again. That kind of stuff is that same mistake that I made before you cussed me out and before you let me have it on the sideline. That same mistake is not going to happen again. And another thing you got to realize, like I said, man, this is March Madness. March Madness. You are playing to survive. You are playing. If you lose, you go home. You're done for the season. That's it. It's no way around that. If you lose, you're done. You're playing it in front of millions of people. The crowd is intense. Everybody's cheering for whatever team they want to win. Some people wanted Bradley to win. Some people wanted MSU to win. I believe a majority had MSU winning that game. But at that time, you have to think, if MSU lost that game to Bradley, people would have just really clowned them. They would have clowned MSU after all of this Cassius Winston talk and MSU is so great and all of that stuff. Man, they would have straight up clowned MSU if they would have lost to Bradley. I never even heard of that school, to be honest, until Michigan State played them. I don't know where Bradley is, and that's not trying to discredit Bradley. I mean, it's just a smaller school. That's just how it is. It's just a smaller school, so I don't know exactly where they are. But if MSU would have lost to Bradley, they would have got clowned. Nobody, I doubt any of those players on MSU wanted to lose. I doubt any of those players on the team wanted to lose that game against a nobody. You really think Tom Izzo is going to let it fly? You think he's going to let that happen as a coach? You set the tone for your players. It starts all the way up top. But as a coach, you do set the tone. Clearly, you have to, clearly Tom Izzo, he told the kid to do something. I don't know what it was. I wasn't there on the sideline. The kid didn't do it. And in a high tension moment like March Madness, where the crowd is yelling, they ended up winning by 11. They had control and things like that. But if they would have lost momentum, it's no telling what's going to happen. We've seen all these crazy buzzer beaters. We've seen all these crazy last-second shots. We've seen missed shots. Look at Duke and UCF. Duke was almost out, but it was a missed shot. Anything can happen in March Madness. So you can't really be upset at Tom Izzo for not wanting to take that risk. If he's going to take the game much more serious than the opponent or take the game much more serious even more than the players, you cannot be mad at him because he wants to win that game against a nobody and because he wants to win. Like I'm okay with that. If I'm being corrected on something, I'm being corrected on it. I have to be open. If someone gives me advice about what I'm doing on the air, I'm open to it. I'm open to it. Whether I want to listen or not, yeah, that's my decision. But if I don't listen or not and it's good advice, then I face the consequences. And that's the same thing. People, I mean, you just got to realize. You got to realize. It's a March Madness game. You win or you go home. And at the end of the day, that's it. Your season is done if you lose. And I doubt anybody on that team wanted to lose to Bradley. Like, come on, man. Bradley. Somebody tell me where Bradley is on the map. Because I don't know that. I really don't. I don't know that. And for some people, I seen Tom Izzo had his support group and some people who were coached by him and other athletes that were coached by him. They're graduated now, but they had his back. And Draymond, he came and Draymond Green. He went to MSU. He came out and he said, that's Tom Izzo. He's gonna see what you're made of. He wants you to push back. He likes the feistiness, and he said something in that category. And that's fine. And as a coach, sometimes you do have to get on your players. Certain players you have to. It's different methods for every player. Some players you might not have to do all that, and other players, I mean, they need it. They want to feel that pressure. Some people want to be able to bounce back when pressure or when pipes get pressure. They burst. Or y'all know the saying I'm trying to say, man. Y'all know I ain't got to sit here and explain it. But y'all get what I'm trying to say, man. But that type of coaching is always effective, man. And it's just I'd rather be corrected for something that I did wrong rather than not knowing why I'm sitting on the bench. Like, you put me on a bench, but I'm trying to figure out why my minutes has been reducted or why my time play is going down. Like, let me know. I'd rather know from the jump that you did this, so now you're about to sit on the bench because that was wrong. That was wrong. That's not at all what you're supposed to do. I don't remember exactly if the kid got back on the floor. I believe he did. But either way it goes, man, that's the MSU. They're going to be all right, man. They Tom Izzo, he's still a good coach, regardless of how people want to look at that scene and look at how angry he was and things like that. Either way, I still believe it's effective coaching. And MSU, they have a good shot at it. Only thing that fears me, or only thing that I worry about for MSU, is that they got to play Duke. If Duke beats Virginia Tech, I mean, I believe Duke is going to beat Virginia Tech. But if Duke beats Virginia Tech and MSU beats LSU, then for those of you who have MSU going all the way, I know it's a few of y'all out there. So for those of you who have MSU going all the way, if they beat Duke, they got it. I don't think they're gonna beat Duke though. That team is talented, man. That team is really, really, really talented, especially Zion. That's been the big piece there, and that's been the main guy everybody's been talking about. But man, I don't know if you watch him consistently, or I don't know if you've watched him. But that dude is nice. People talk about. Well, I seen something where they were talking about Zion already like a top 30 player and things like that. That's pushing it a little bit. He does have to get on the NBA talent level to be able to have that kind of, I guess, credibility to his name and things like that, because he hasn't played a game in the NBA yet. And it does take different adjustments. But I do believe he's going to adjust just fine because, man, it was also a picture where it had LeBron, when LeBron was coming straight into the NBA. And then it had Zion at the same age. But the picture, man, as big as this dude is, 285 or something like that, huge, and can run, can jump. And the one thing I noticed about Zion is he has a soft touch. He has a soft touch. To be that strong and be built up like he is, he got a soft touch on him. It also helps he can shoot free throws. You know, a lot of people who super strong like that or got them big old muscles and big old shoulders, they can't really shoot free throws. But Zion can knock some free throws down, and that's really helpful. That's going to be helpful to any NBA team. I don't know who's going to get them. That's not why I'm here to talk about, or that's not what I'm here to talk about. But, man, I can tell you right now, he's going to be good.